Exodus 25, verse 1. And Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they take up a contribution for me. From everyone whose heart moves him, you shall take up my contribution. And this is the contribution you take up from them: gold and silver and bronze, and blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram's skin dyed red, and fine leather and acacia wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, shoham stones, and stones to be set in the shoulder garment and in the breastplate. And they shall make me a set-apart place, and I shall dwell in their midst. According to all that I show you, the pattern of the dwelling place, and the pattern of all its furnishings, make it exactly so. And they shall make an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. And you shall overlay it with clean gold, inside and outside. You overlay it, and you shall make on it a molding of gold all around. And you shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in its 4 corners, 2 rings on one side, and 2 rings on the other side. And you shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, to lift up the ark by them. The poles are in the rings of the ark, they are not taken from it. And into the ark you shall put the witness which I give you. And you shall make a lid of atonement of clean gold, 2.5 cubits long, and 1.5 cubits wide. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, make them of beaten work, at the 2 ends of the lid of atonement, and make 1 cherub at one end, and the other cherub at the other end. Make the cherubim from the lid of atonement at its 2 ends, and the cherubim shall be spreading out their wings above, covering the lid of atonement with their wings, with their faces toward each other. The faces of the cherubim turned toward the lid of atonement. And you shall put the lid of atonement on top of the ark, and put into the ark the witness which I give you. And I shall meet with you there, and from above the lid of atonement, from between the 2 cherubim which are on the ark of the witness, I shall speak to you all that which I command you concerning the children of Israel. And you shall make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. And you shall overlay it with clean gold, and shall make a molding of gold all around, and shall make for it a rim of a handbreadth all around, and shall make a gold molding for the rim all around. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings on the 4 corners that are at its 4 legs. The rings are close to the rim, as holders for the poles to lift the table. And you shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and the table shall be lifted with them. And you shall make its dishes, and its ladles, and its jars, and its bowls for pouring. Make them of clean gold. And you shall put the showbread on the table before me continually. And you shall make a lampstand of clean gold. The lampstand is made of beaten work. Its base and its shaft, its cups, its ornamental knobs and blossoms are from it. And 6 branches shall come out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out the other side. 3 cups made like almond flowers on one branch, with ornamental knob and blossom, and 3 cups made like almond flowers on the other branch, with ornamental knob and blossom. So for the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. And on the lampstand itself are 4 cups made like almond flowers, with ornamental knob and blossom. and a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the second 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the third 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. The knobs and the branches are of the same, all of it one beaten work of clean gold. And you shall make 7 lamps for it, and they shall mount its lamps so that they give light in front of it. And its snuffers and their trays are of clean gold. It is made of a talent of clean gold, with all the utensils. So see, and do according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain. And make the dwelling place with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and blue and purple and scarlet material. Make them with cherubim, the work of a skilled workman. The length of each curtain is 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and the curtains having one measure. 5 curtains are joined to each other, and 5 curtains are joined to each other. And you shall make loops of blue on the edge of the curtain on one set, and do the same on the edge of the end curtain of the second set. Make 50 loops in the one curtain, and make 50 loops on the edge of the end curtain of the second set, the loops being opposite to each other. And you shall make 50 hooks of gold, and shall join the curtains together with the hooks, and the dwelling place shall be one. And you shall make curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the dwelling place. Make 11 curtains. The length of each curtain is 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, one measure to the 11 curtains. And you shall join the 5 curtains by themselves, and the 6 curtains by themselves, and you shall double over the 6 curtains at the front of the tent. And you shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain of the second set. And you shall make 50 bronze hooks, and put the hooks into the loops, and join the tent together, and it shall be one. And the overlapping parts of the rest of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the dwelling place, and a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of what remains of the length of the curtains of the tent is to hang over the sides of the dwelling place, on this side and on that side, to cover it. And you shall make a covering of ram's skin dyed red for the tent, and a covering of fine leather above that. And for the dwelling place you shall make the boards of acacia wood, standing up. 10 cubits is the length of a board, and a cubit and a half the width of each board. 2 tenons in each board for binding one another. Do the same for all the boards of the dwelling place. And you shall make the boards of the dwelling place 20 boards for the south side, and make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under each of the boards for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the dwelling place, on the north side, 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under each of the boards. And for the extreme parts of the dwelling place, westward, make 6 boards, and make 2 boards for the 2 back corners of the dwelling place. And they are double beneath, and similarly they are complete to the top, to the one ring. So it is for both of them. They are for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver 16 sockets, 2 sockets under the one board, and 2 sockets under the other board. And you shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the dwelling place, and 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the dwelling place, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the dwelling place, for the extreme parts westward, with the middle bar in the midst of all the boards, going through from end to end. And overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold as holders for the bars, and overlay the bars with gold. And you shall raise up the dwelling place according to its pattern, which you were shown on the mountain. And you shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine woven linen, the work of a skilled workman made with cherubim. And you shall put it on the 4 columns of acacia wood, overlaid with gold, their hooks of gold, upon 4 sockets of silver. And you shall hang the veil from the hooks, and shall bring the ark of the witness there, behind the veil, and the veil shall make a separation for you between the set apart and the most set apart place. And you shall put the lid of atonement upon the ark of the witness in the most set apart place. And you shall set the table outside the veil, and the lampstand opposite the table, on the side of the dwelling place, toward the south, and put the table on the north side. And you shall make a covering for the door of the tent, of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine woven linen, made by a weaver. And you shall make for the covering 5 columns of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, their hooks of gold, and you shall cast 5 sockets of bronze for them. And you shall make a slaughter place of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The slaughter place is square, and its height 3 cubits. And you shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns are of the same, and you shall overlay it with bronze. And you shall make its pots to receive its ashes, and its shovels, and its basins, and its forks, and its fire holders. Make all its utensils of bronze. And you shall make a grating for it, a bronze network, and shall make on the network 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners, and shall put it under the rim of the slaughter place, beneath, so that the network is halfway up the slaughter place. And you shall make poles for the slaughter place, poles of acacia wood, and shall overlay them with bronze. And the poles shall be put in the rings, and the poles shall be on 2 sides of the slaughter place for lifting it. Make it hollow with boards, as it was shown to you on the mountain. So they are to make it. And you shall make the courtyard of the dwelling place, for the south side screen for the courtyard, made of fine woven linen, 100 cubits long for one side, and its 20 columns and 20 sockets of bronze, the hooks for the columns and their bands of silver. And so from the north side, in length screens 100 cubits long, with its 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze, and the hooks of the columns and their bands of silver. And the width of the courtyard on the west side screen of 50 cubits, with their 10 columns and their 10 sockets, and the width of the courtyard on the east side 50 cubits, and the screens on one side of the gate 15 cubits, with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets, and on the other side screen of the 15 cubits, with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. And for the gate of the courtyard, a covering 20 cubits long, of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine woven linen, made by a weaver, 4 columns and 4 sockets. All the columns around the courtyard have bands of silver, their hooks silver, and their sockets bronze. The length of the courtyard is 100 cubits, and the width 50 by 50, and the height 5 cubits, woven of fine linen thread, and its sockets of bronze. All the utensils of the dwelling place for all its service, all its pegs, and all the pegs of the courtyard are bronze. And you are to command the children of Israel to bring you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, to cause the lamp to burn continually. In the tent of appointment, outside the veil which is before the witness, Aaron and his sons are to tend it from evening until morning before Adonai, a law forever to their generations, from the children of Israel. 1 Kings 5, verse 12. And Adonai gave Shlomo wisdom, as he promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Shlomo, and the two of them made a covenant. And sovereign Shlomo raised up compulsory labor out of all Israel, and the compulsory labor was 30,000 men. And he sent to Lebanon 10,000 per new moon by courses. There were 1 new moon in Lebanon, 2 new moons at home. And Adoniram was over the compulsory labor. And Shlomo had 70,000 bearing burdens, and 80,000 hewing stones in the mountains, besides 3,300 from the chiefs of Shlomo's duties, who were over the work, those ruling over the people who labored in the work. And the sovereign commanded, and they brought large stones, precious stones, to lay the foundation of the house, with hewn stones. And Shlomo's builders, and Hiram's builders, and the men of Geval did hew, and prepared timber and stones to build the house. And it came to be in the 418th year, after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, in the 4th year of the reign of Shlomo over Israel, in the new moon of Zvi, which is the 2nd new moon, that he began to build the house of Adonai. And the house which sovereign Shlomo built for Adonai was 60 cubits long, and 20 wide, and 30 cubits high. And the porch at the front of the hekel of the house was 20 cubits long, according to the breadth of the house, and its width 10 cubits from the front of the house. And he made the house windows with narrowed frames. And against the wall of the house he built rooms all around, against the walls of the house, all around the hekel and the speaking place. Thus he made side rooms all around. The lowest side room was 5 cubits wide, and the middle one was 6 cubits wide, and the third one was 7 cubits wide. And he made narrow ledges around the outside of the house, so as not to lay hold on the walls of the house. And the house, when it was being built, was built with finished stone made ready beforehand, so that no hammer, or no chisel, or any iron tool was heard in the house while it was being built. The doorway for the middle side room was on the right side of the house, and they went up by stairs to the middle side rooms, and from the middle to the third. So he built the house and completed it, and he panelled the house with beams and boards of cedar, and he built the side rooms of the structure against all the house, each 5 cubits high, and they were fastened to the house with cedar beams. And the word of Adonai came to Shlomo, saying, The house which you are building, if you walk in my laws, and do my right rulings, and shall guard all my commands, and walk in them, then I shall confirm my word with you, which I spoke to your father David, and shall dwell in the midst of the children of Israel, and not forsake my people Israel. Matthew 5, verse 33. Again, you heard that it was said to those of old, You shall not swear falsely, but shall perform your oaths to Adonai. But I say to you, do not swear at all, neither by the heaven, because it is Elohim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great sovereign, nor swear by your head, because you are not able to make one hair white or black. But let your word, yes, be yes, and your no be no. And what goes beyond these is from the wicked one.